In the so-called Great Weapon meta, one unit I haven't tried too much yet are Plague Monk Censer Bears, so today against Rider Rohan, I've got 4 of them, including the Blight Scabs Plague Pack. We've also got a big old Vanguard engagement. Let's just quickly highlight this because it is going to be important later. 4 Wolf Rats, immediately just ambush some Reavers. We've got another Reavers in here side charging, all poison Wolf Rats. No need for magic damage here, as Dragon Princes are not a super common pick in any matchup right now. Also, the Censer Bears would deal just fine with them. We've got Skrulk, as you saw there, some Poison Wind Mortars, plenty of chaff. For the High Elves here, Prince on a Griffin, Double Eagle. Very interesting build from Rider Rohan. I'm actually a big fan of this. He's got a bunch of Rangers as well. More Reavers here rushing down into the forest there. Spearmen, Archers, Regiment of Renown, Lothern Seaguard, the Storm Riders. A little bit of a wild pick. They have Vanguard and also Cause Fear, which the Causing Fear in particular is actually very good against Hounds, which Wolf Rats do threaten here because they have such low leadership. They're normally a threat to Lothern Seaguard, but that Fear does actually help pretty significantly. I hadn't realized. Maybe that's why you brought them, but anyway. Yeah, Mortar's going to open up here, and the Rangers have physical resistance, they have decent stats, but, of course, magic damage and massive 37 charge bonus, huge weapon strength, and full-on 90 unit models for Censer Bears. They are just going to come in here and absolutely destroy these Rangers in a very one-sided engagement, especially considering they've also got Skaven Slaves taking some of the hits for them here. Skaven infantry kind of fighting on top of each other. Not super efficient, but still taking some damage from the archers. And the rangers actually, I guess it's not super one-sided. Here with the double eagle charging down and the rear charge from the reavers, we see that, Censer Bearers are very squishy. Out of any elite great weapon infantry, they are, I guess if you consider, they're not really great weapon infantry, but not Spellweavers. Blade Singers, that's it. I'm going to say Sword Singers, but I knew that was wrong. Yeah, Blade Singers. Anyway, Prince, middle bit of a micro mistake, dives down in the back line, gets caught up by the Warp Grinders, Chieftain, and Skrulk, so he takes a lot of damage here. Chieftain's just, in case Skrulk dies, he got extra leadership and also a little bit of anti-large AP. The Eagles, though, concentrating very well here, routing 1 Censer Bearer, the Blight Scabs, Plague Pack, still fighting. They've got immune to psychology, so they won't get terrified. Regular Censer Bearers do have frenzies, so they'll have immune to psychology while that's active, but once it wears off, I do believe they lack it. But Mortars, a little bit of overkill on one archer unit. Now switch over, get some really nice damage on this blob here. We've also got some more Censer Bears, just ransacking some poor spearmen over there, but his flying force is quite threatening to me. The Prince has been able to get healed back up from the regrowths from the Life Mage there, and now coming in to finish off the Mortars, already generated a ton of great value. But, definitely paid for themselves already. But no doubt we'll get taken out very quickly by the Double Eagle here. A little bit of a summon as well from Skrulk. Get some Clan Rats in here, try and continue to sustain the fight. But Skrulk himself gets teamed up, takes a few attack animations. He doesn't have a lot of HP, and again, only 30 armor. Like the Censer Bears, they have 10. It's very, very light armor, and as a result, he'll take significant damage from the Eagles. Obviously, Prince has armor piercing and just decent weapon strength overall. You can see Skrulk taking some critical hits right there. Very, very bad for me. The Chieftain's Guardian not really helping too much. And a couple of last handful of shots from the Mortars there, landing on the Lothern Seaguard. The Censer Bears over here, though, still quite healthy. I think they have a pretty good chance of getting back in the game because of them. More Censer Bears over here. Plague Packs tried to come back, get some more damage, but they also got routed off. But one Eagle's down. Unfortunately, the Chieftain can't survive 3v1 here either and immediately gets terrified. No immune to psychology from the Plague Pack. They have that AoE immune to psychology as their Regiment of Renown ability. And, a little bit of Sling Stones coming in here, but things are definitely looking pretty grim for me. That initial Hound engagement meant that I didn't have Hounds to chase routing units off, and you can see I do have a few that finally get in here and do just that against those archers, but the archers have already done enough damage to my Censer Bears that it's going to be tough. Here, 1 unit of Censer Bears taking on 3 tattered units of Rangers. Without their charge bonus, they are going to take some damage here. Only 25 melee defense, 28 attack from the Rangers, plus their anti-infantry bonus. Plus 8, yeah, so that's pretty significant. They'll be able to make pretty good contact, but a nice little side charge from 1 more unit of Censer Bears there does break them. The Discourage effect also not a huge factor against the High Elves, given their leadership's already pretty good, but potentially against somebody like Bretonia, this Contaminated is actually better than Discouraged. -10 leadership is very significant, and having that just bound, in addition to the shock damage, means if they get a good charge, they can rout units very quickly. But here, we'll see if they're able to get any good charges on what's left. It's mostly mobile units left for Rider Rohan, the Eagles, the Prince on the Griffin, which, by the way, again, I'm a huge fan of this. Not something you see super often, but it's one of the cheapest terror options you have for, and just a cheap lord in general for High Elves, something you generally lack. But, you know, I mean, it's cheaper than, like, an Empire Lord on a Griffin, maybe. I'd have to actually look, but not too expensive, and definitely some really nice damage potential, even if it is a little squishy. And, yeah, last summons being done there. Skrulk, I believe, actually gets... that might have been Skrulk getting straight up killed. We do get the power grab from the Chieftain, but once he's off the field, that will also be done. But stabilizing a little bit here as the Wolf Rats do come back in the final quarter to chase, shatter some of these remaining units. We've got a couple of Censer Bearers formed up. They've got decent enough leadership. They should be able to hold at least for a little bit of time. It's just a matter of, you know, if they can do enough damage to the Prince to rout him quickly, they might be able to win this. But the terror is going to be an issue. You know, it's all still Skaven, right? And, like, this unit doesn't even have enough leadership to get their frenzy back. So let's continue to fast forward as Rider Rohan comes back with his flying bird squad. Handful of cavalry, life mage. I've got my infantry formed up here. They're almost fresh now, which is maybe a benefit, but we'll see. This one's still a little tired, but Rider Rohan makes the correct decision and just goes directly charging everything onto the strongest remaining unit of Censer Bears, and as soon as they get terrified, I hit army losses. So there we go. There was an attempt to make a final stand, but, I mean... Censer Bears are just so squishy that, I mean, the damage output is potentially one of the highest in the game, but that extreme squishiness means that they are going to take severe damage, and here, like, none of them end up actually paying for themselves, so a little bit of a rough go. Granted, Rider Rohan took a pretty decent build. The thing is, most people are not going to take, like, heavy cavalry against Skaven anyway right now, probably. I mean... We have seen that a little bit recently from, was that Way? Like with the steam tanks and everything, so maybe Empire is another use case for the Censer Bearers that I should try out. But here against the High Elves, I think the leadership just a little bit too much, and the archers are such a significant threat that they just didn't end up working out like I would have wanted. If that mobile engagement had gone a little better for me, and I would have gotten better value from the Wolf Rats going after archers in order to protect the Censer Bearers, that would have been a lot better. Likewise, even though the mortar paid for itself in terms of value, I definitely way overkilled like one archer unit when I should have been spreading that damage out a little bit. Of course, the Eagles were a big factor as well, along with the Prince on the Griffin. Despite taking a lot of damage early on, credit to Rider Rohan, able to recover him, heal him back up, and I think he's probably less than 2,000 points with the kit. Rider Rohan maybe right around 2,000 points, so that's really cost-effective, actually. For a nice flying terror lord against the Skaven. Rangers also generally, you know, Rangers are, they might think they're good in this matchup, and they are if they can get into chaff, but they also have some counters. One of them ends up doing quite well. And you know what, maybe I take it back. Maybe the issue wasn't the archers, but really just, I mean, I guess these guys, Storm Riders, did get some pretty good value. The Reavers also ended up getting some pretty good values, so I have to say, really great game from Rider Rohan, though, and I do need to play around a little bit more with Censer Bearers and see. I haven't completely decided where they're at, but it seems like maybe 4 is too many. Maybe 3 would have been better. I don't know. Again, I got to play around with it a little bit and see what to make of it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What's been your experience? If you have had any playing with Censer Bearers in the current patch, are they good? Are they terrible? Are they somewhere in between? Most likely the third. But anyway, that's it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.